Hey, welcome back, folks. Day 3 of the big-ass snowstorm in Oklahoma. Snow ought to be ending tonight. Roads are still treacherous. Lots of white stuff out there, everybody having fun on it, and I haven't left the house in 3 days, and I don't intend to leave the house tomorrow. Unless somebody pays me a hell of a lot of money to do it. Hope you folks are doing all right tonight. I want to thank you for stopping by. Another little short, well, relatively short discussion video on Federal's new Goldilocks cartridge 30 Super Carry. Pardon me. Them Germans and Austrians, boy, they make the best. Now, I put together a little visual aid to use in this video. I put it together the other day and had to redo it, but got one set up. Going to take a look at it. You see what I'm talking about when I talk about Goldilocks cartridge. Things being too little, too big, too hard, too soft, too hot, too cold. If you look at the lineup of cartridges available out there, you can find appreciable kind of gaps. Do we really need to fill them? That's my question. Do we really need to fill these little bitty gaps? Because they are itty bitty. But I had some talking points I wanted to enumerate, and I didn't get a chance to do it on the very first one. So we're going to revisit this. Bear with me. No shooting going on right now. One of the things that I wanted to reiterate, and what the second video did was demonstrate, in my mind, and I know I'm just one of many camps when it comes to what I'm looking for in performance and what a bullet needs to do. But I really think that everybody in the community can agree. If you're going to defend yourself with deadly force and use a handgun to do it, regardless of the caliber you use, you have got to be capable of doing your part. You can have magic bullets, or what the guy down the street tells you is a magic bullet. You can search for Goldilocks calibers to fill just a little niche, but the point is, if you can't hit a bull in the ass with a bass fiddle with a 10-gauge shotgun, how in the blue hell do you expect any niche cartridge to do you any good over any other cartridge you could choose from? A plethora of cartridges. My brother had a saying when people would tell him that 22 mag was pretty damn weak. He'd tell them, I'll bet you $20 I can put 6 of these in your back before you can run to the curb and back. Makes sense. You might take off running, but you weren't going to run back. Shot placement, folks. That's what matters. Price. Yes, price does matter. Holy shit. We're not even in a war, and gasoline is $3.29 a gallon down the street. At the OnQ, where I was buying gas less than 2 years ago, less than a year ago, at $1.67 a gallon, it's now $2.98. And we're not even in a war. Halliburton ain't making any damn money off the government right now in a war. Where's this coming from? Oh yeah, the XL. Well, yeah. Well, the XL's a project. It wasn't shipping yet. This stuff's going to be expensive. And one of the Federal Ammunition Ambassadors videos that I watched today, he's touting out all the great things about it with the bias that he has to have because it's his job to say it's a great thing and not tell you any bad things about it. But he talked about the fact that if the next panic comes, if the next shortage comes. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. This has been happening since the late 80s. I've seen a half a dozen of these damn things. If there's an election, I guarantee you people are going to buy up everything. But it was his opinion that if 9 mil and 357 other things are hard to find, then you should be able to find some 30 super carry. This last one, when it hit, the shells got so bare at the local stores around here, you couldn't find 22 short, long rifle or magnum. You couldn't find 5.7. You couldn't find 9, 380, 32, 20. It was just the shells are still at my favorite store 3/4 bare. You can't get the common calibers. You can't get the off to the side common calibers, and when you do, you're paying for it. There's no way on God's green earth that you ought to have to pay more than $11 for a box of 9 mil range ammo. Yet, you're not going to get it for that. So yeah, and let's not forget the fact there's only 3 platforms available so far. 2, the Smiths, the Shield, and the Easy, and the other one is Not Hawk Custom. Have you been on their website to price their firearms? Go on there. You'll be pleasantly surprised, I guarantee you. Availability of arms and ammunition. They say, oh yeah. Well, I haven't seen one yet. None of the gun stores here in central Oklahoma have one, nor have I seen the ammunition. Even in the videos I talk about how they say that there's a gap that needs to be filled. Well, I would submit that 9x18 Makarov does that just fine. And if they want to discount it because it's .365 instead of .355 like the other 9s are, well, let's go ahead and just say this. How about 30 Luger? How about French 7.65? There's other ways to do it. That's good. If you buy one of these and you are like me, a hand loader, guess what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to run right out there when it finally becomes available and buy new dies, new shell holders, new tooling, probably new bullet boards because you'll have to have that. You're going to have to determine which primers you're going to need. Oh, primers! You been seeing any of them lately for under 10 cents a piece? When they used to be a penny. When they hit 4 cents a piece, I was screaming. Powder. Which powder works best? Do you have the powder? Can you get the powder? I've been trying to find Blue Dot Accurate Arms 9 and 7 for over a year. I can't find it. Can you? And if you can, will you please sell me some? You're going to need all this new stuff. You're going to need spare magazines. Probably going to need a new holster. All that extra reloading crud. And Federal's ambassador, that I won't name, was touting out things like, boy, this bullet flies fast, gets to the target quick. Well, they all fly relatively fast. A 95-mile-an-hour fastball is fast, and it's going to hurt like hell when it hits you. So a cartridge doing 1200, well, certainly it's fast. And then he talked about how it's so fast that, man, it gets to that target 60 yards away really quick. 60 yards? How many people have ever wound up in a self-defense situation and had an engagement distance of 60 yards with a compact or subcompact size carry handgun of 30 caliber. I would submit very few, if any. If you're in a self-defense situation at 60 yards, you don't need to be firing a 30 super carry at it. You need to be firing a 300 blackout carbine. I just don't get it. And they use words like almost and virtually and all these equivocal, it's almost like a 9, it's almost as strong, but it's certainly stronger than. It's too hard, it's too soft, it's too hot, it's too cold, it's too big, it's too little. But all we need is a good fairy tale Goldilocks bullet. So without further ado, let's take a look at my visual aid that I have set up, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Follow me over here. All right. Now that we've made it over to our visual aid section of the laboratory, let's kind of take a look at this little visual aid lineup that I've set up. Kind of demonstrate, get a little idea of what I'm talking about here when I start referring to this 30 super carry as a Goldilocks caliber. And like I reiterate, I think that's what I'm taking away from all of the videos I'm seeing by the YouTube shills or the ambassadors or the connections or whatever they call themselves that really talk this up and are doing their best to trot it out there like a damn old trick pony. You gotta come pay your money to see this thing, because it's the coolest damn thing since sliced bread pockets on a shirt. We're going to start on the left, go left to right. Here's a 10 mil auto cartridge. Undoubtedly a great defensive round. And in the right platform, totally controllable. Next to it, it's a little brother, 40 Smith & Wesson. Some of us like to call it 40 short and weak, because it started out here and the FBI needed it to come to here because some of its agents were having a little bit of problem controlling it. Next to it, the venerable 357 mag. Next to it, its predecessor, the 38 Special. Next to it, my most favorite competition round, the 38 Super Auto. Next to it, just one 10,000ths down on the size chart at .355, the venerable 9x19, 9mm Luger, 9mm NATO, 9 Parabellum, ad nauseam ad infinitum. Take your choice of what you want to call it. Been around for a long time and doing a fine job, and it came in basically because 30 Luger was short and weak. And next to it we got, what, who put this gap here? What in the hell? Okay, somebody call R&D and get them on filling this gap. I'm sure that's what somebody at Federal said. Hey, look, there's a hole here. We need to stick something in it because there's nothing there. Well, I don't know who the first one to say that was, but they sure fooled the living dog shit out of everybody else. Because there is no gap, really, between 9x19 and 380 ACP. And I would submit, right there, a venerable cartridge that's been around for a long, long time and does a damn fine job. Just ask anybody in Russia. The 9x18 Makarov. .365 diameter. What do you know? That hole got filled. Whew. Okay, R&D, stand down. We don't have an emergency after all. Now, next to it, the venerable, well carried, well known, well used, for a long, long time. 380 ACP. Damn fine cartridge. Next to it, we have, okay, somebody get R&D on the phone. We've got another gap here. Holy crap, we've got to fill this gap. Somebody's got to fill the hole. R&D, get R&D on the phone. R&D, can I help you? Yeah, we got a hole. We got to fill a hole. Well, I just called my wife and set a lunch date, and I was kind of planning on, no, we got to fill the hole. Well, that's what I was telling. No, wait a minute. We got a hole. You got to fill the hole, and I don't mean your old lady. Okay, what do we got? What's wrong? We have got a gap. We've got a damn gap right there between 380 and 32 auto. We have got to fill that hole because we already filled one gap. But wait a minute. Boss, check this out. Let me make you a suggestion. Now, this is just one of several available, still in production, but this is one I happen to have in my pocket right now. So, boss, if you'll just bear with me, let me tell you about this one. Boss, it's been around for a long time, but it's still in production. Called 765 by 20 French long now. It came in several different offerings back in the 20s of the 20th century and is still available today. Not only that one, but there's one called 30 Luger. Don't have one in my pocket to show you, but it would fill the niche quite nicely as well. There's also 9x17s. 9x16s. There's 327 Federals. There's 32 H&R mags. 32 longs. Quite a few. Boss, I would submit the hole is filled. And next to it, 32 auto, 25 auto, and 22 mag, critical defense. Now, I would submit, and I dare anybody to take 6 of those in the heart and then turn around and complain about the fact that they're really not up to snuff, that they really just aren't as effective as they need to be. All right, so do we or do we not have the gaps filled? I would submit yes. Is the 30 Super Carry a Goldilocks cartridge? In my mind it is. I can't tell you for sure, but I know this. I won't be buying one. I won't be testing one unless somebody gives me one for free. And unlike what the ambassadors and the shills and the company men like to tell you in all their videos about how it's not too hot, it's not too cold, it's not too heavy, it's not too light, it's just right. It's just right on. Okay, anybody tell me, damn, anytime anybody tells you, you got to get this because it's just off the edge of that and not on the edge of the other one, you got to get right there in the middle. They just want more of your money for some new shit. That's what I would submit. All right, let's get back to it. All righty then, welcome back. Okay, so hopefully that little visual aid I lined up allowed you to see what I was talking about. Really and truly, if you sit and look at all of the calibers, all the rounds and the cartridges available, and if you could get one example of all of them lined up edge to edge, sure, you could find some gaps that are a little bit wider than there are amongst the other cartridges. You'll always be able to do that. And a lot of times in rifle cartridges, we just filling the niche turned into a layer of onion skin. There's so many different things you can do with rifle ammunition, but when it comes to defensive pistol ammo, myself, for a lot of years and still to this day, when I walk out the door, my defensive pistol is in a caliber that starts with 4. When I'm out in the field rolling around, yeah, I might have my 38 Super on. Certainly have my 10 mil auto with me. And if I need something small and compact, that's when I slide a 380 in my pants. And it does just fine. There's nothing wrong with it. And when they talk about round count, my Model 84 Beretta Cheetah does just fine, and it holds no fewer rounds than their gun does. So round count don't matter. It's the first 3 or 4 rounds out of the tube in a self-defense situation that make or break the deal. And if you need more than that, you need to get your ass back out on the range and fire some more bullets. So there's really no appreciable gap in my mind. There's things that can fill it. Yeah, some are obscure, some are really obscure, some are like, I've never heard of that. But you can sit around filling gaps all day. Just boil it down to what you need to boil it down to. Do your part. Put 3 rounds in the bad guy's heart, 1 on the bridge of his nose. And sit down, gather your thoughts and your wits, and get ready to talk to police. Stay on scene, don't run away. Anyway, so that's kind of my take on it. It's a Goldilocks bullet. It's not too soft, not too hot. Not too, it's just too hard, it's too soft. No, it's just fluff. As far as I'm concerned, I won't be getting one. I certainly won't be spending the money on the ammunition. And there's only, if I was to want one, it would have to be a Smith, because there's no way on God's green earth that I would spend the money I'd have to spend to get a Nighthawk Custom in that caliber. If I was going to get a Nighthawk Custom in any caliber, it would be a 10 mil auto. Period. So anyway, I'm glad you folks stopped by. I hope you kind of see what I'm talking about. And like all the other guns out there and all the other cartridges, it's something you're going to have to make up your own mind about. I can't tell you how to feel about it. All I can do is just share with you my thoughts on it and how I feel about it. I got enough damn guns and calibers to keep up with. I don't need to add another one to the mix, especially if it's weaker than 9mm, because that's really that's cutoff point for anything that I'm going to have a hell of a lot of ammo for. And if I have to run out the door with a bug-out bag in my hand, bet your ass it's going to have that 9mm and some ammo in it, probably an ammo can in my other hand. So you guys have a great night. Thanks for stopping by, and looking forward to getting the next one out for you. Hopefully, sometime in the near future, Springfield's going to ship my Ronin out, and I'll get to play with it a little bit. I don't know. By the time I finally get my hands on one, it's probably going to be old hat, and nobody's going to want to watch video on it. I'll have to come up with something else. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. You guys have a great night. Watch out for the weather. Whew, boy, the snow's something else, and I know this storm goes all the way up to Maine. It's a biggie, but you guys have a great night. Stay safe, stay warm. Thanks for stopping by. Remember, I love you guys. Pass it on. Be good to yourselves. Bye.